Hello, this is Dr. Tyler Hamel, chiropractor. We're going to show you a couple more exercises for the low back. This is mostly for the hips, but the hips, when they're really tight, cause a lot of extra stress on the low back. So here's a couple extra kind of bonus exercises for the low back. So before we had done the cats and dogs being on all fours, but this one in particular is just called a fire hydrant, and you'll see why. But basically you're going to lift your leg out, so back and forth, just in and out this way. So try to keep your back and everything pretty stable. You don't want to be wobbling too much, just back and forth. And you'll feel this kind of in the hip area or the glute area. So try to do a couple sets of 12 of that. Another glute exercise we're going to do, so this is trying to isolate the glute instead of doing something like a lunge. Lots of people who have low back pain who come in, their glutes are kind of shut off and they really don't know it. So these are exercises to help just isolate that instead of maybe doing another exercise where you think you're working the glutes but other things are working at the same time. So this is for the, say we're doing the left glute, so I'm going to put all the pressure into my left heel and I'm going to bring my right knee up. I'm going to keep bringing it up, and I'm going to look at the wall this way. So I should feel this in the left glute here. I'm just going to hold it for about 15 seconds. If you saw me from the side, it's basically going to look like this here. So I'm going to keep raising this up and I'm going to feel it. All the pressure's into my left heel, but I'm going to feel the contraction here in my left glute. Okay, so now a hip releasing exercise. So foam roller is something I talk to many patients about, and it's very good for muscle releasing or self-muscle releasing. Certain areas it works better than others, like long muscles, quadriceps and IT bands, calves, hamstrings, it works pretty good, even for the glutes. But for the side glutes, I usually like using something like a softball. So I'll kind of give you an idea of what I do. So I'll put a softball down like this, and in just around the glute area, I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure down. But I can control how much pressure I put down by putting more pressure on my elbow here or my hands, so I don't have my full weight all the way down on the ball. Because if your hips are really tight and glutes are really tight, it's going to be really hard for you to be on that. So from here, I'm just going to roll back and forth just slightly. So I'm not going over the hip bone, just the muscles that are surrounding the hip. So I'm going to go back and forth this way. If I get on a spot that's sore, I can just stay there for 5 seconds or so and then maybe move a little bit off. You know, just going half an inch or a quarter inch. You don't have to go very far to hit all the different muscles of the glute. So it's another good way to do some self-releasing techniques. You can do self-releasing and then do stretching in some of these exercises that'll help loosen up the hips. And all this stuff will help stabilize the hips and take extra pressure off the low back. So start adding these to the repertoire, and thanks for watching this video.